that does have that problem, and I'm not sure how they necessarily deal with it, but how I would deal with it is I would make sure throughout the entire training process that I let the parents know that I have their best interest, and safety comes first. And any coach that has taken any examinations or for the USA Boxing, they know that safety comes first. So first and foremost, before I would watch an individual do something that they shouldn't be doing or get in a certain position that they cannot defend themselves in, then it's easy for me to just say, I'll throw in the towel. I'll throw in the towel. We'll fight tomorrow. Then you get hurt today.
How easy is it for you to throw that towel into that individual match when he feels like he's not finished yet?
Well, if he feels like he's not finished, now I've never had to throw in the towel, but I've seen boxers that have coaches that have thrown in the towel when the individual feels like that. But again, I would rather go back to the drawing board, get it right, because this is amateur boxing. This is not a paid event for those guys. These guys, like I've talked about. They have other lives when they leave the gym. So it's important to have that fortitude that where you want to, but at the end of the day, you got to know that the guy in your corner has your best interest, and me having the best interest. If that was the case, then that would be the case.
What would you consider to be a good time frame for an individual to go from amateur to professional?
That really depends on the individual. And the reason I say that is because you got some guys that can come in the gym and they are very, very good. They have the athletic ability, they have everything. And they will have the ability to go professional sooner because I would consider them to be able to handle themselves offensively and defensively to protect themselves in the ring in a professional match. And then you got others that has some more time to develop. So it's a developmental process versus a time frame. So I would consider it as a stages of development before a time frame. Now I can't really give an exact time because it just depends on the individual. I would say if you get into some amateur experience, I would say good amateur experience always helps to propel a professional career. If you've had, if you've made it to the Golden Gloves and you've done the amateurs and the nationals and stuff like that, then professionally maybe you're good, may do you well. But if you don't do so well in the amateurs and you don't do so well in the boxing events as an amateur, that's not saying that you won't do as well professionally, but it gives you an indication where we're going to start off at.
I heard that you have a pretty good boxing background for yourself. You went to the Olympics trial or something of that nature, or?
I was runner up for the Eastern Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm.
I was runner up, and I did pretty well. Under the circumstances, I think that I did very well. I brought in some video footage of it, and it actually, I think it was 2007 or so, and I, up until a few months ago, actually got the nerve to watch that footage.
Why is that?
Because I was disappointed in myself. And I felt that I could have done better, done more, X, Y, Z, and I let myself down. So, but when I went back and watched the footage of it, excuse me, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Okay. It wasn't. So, I'm okay with it.
What do you see as far as the 5-year goal for the Rock Hill Boxing Club?
5-year goal, I definitely first and foremost, we want to increase membership, but whether we increase membership or not is not the big goal. The big goal is to get the guys that are there to where they can be noticed, where they can be seen, where they can be their talents can be shown and showcased, and we're going to continue to strive for that. 5-year goal, I see that there should be Olympic trials coming up here. I have one of the guys, Reginald Henson. He's pretty good. I think that we're going to shoot for trying to get him in the Olympics.
Okay.
And that's my goal. That's going to be before 5 years, of course, but right now that's what we're going to shoot for.
You said Reggie Henson?
Reginald Henson. He's a southpaw, 141 southpaw, and he's been training at the gym maybe 9 months, 8-9 months, maybe a year. But he has the work ethic, he has the heart determination, and he has the skills to be a very, very good boxer.
When you travel around the different arenas and you see the crowd in there cheering and booing your fighters, how do you get them to understand that that's part of the boxing?
I teach them from experience. I teach them from experience because when you get in the ring, and whether you're doing very well or whether you're not doing so very well, when you get in the ring and if you go with the flow of the crowd, you're going to be outside of your element. You have to block the crowd from what's going on. You have to focus on what you're doing, and again, you have to focus on self-control. If you go in there in the ring and you land a series of shots, and the crowd is electrified by the crowd, by the shot, what happened to the boxers? They begin to feed into it. They're electrified too, and then all of a sudden they go from being pumped to being exhausted because your adrenaline is kicked in, and now you're exhausted. And this guy that you just put that flurry of punches on, he's coming back around, and you're exhausted. So I think don't listen to the crowd. Listen to your coach at all times.
As far as listening to the coaches and the boxers and all that, I know you had an event recently. Well, it was like a month ago. And you had a pretty good crowd out there. What would you say to those that came to view the boxers and support their boxing community?
All that was possible through support, and it was so much community support there. It was unbelievable to me. I was thankful. I was tired, but I was thankful. I like to definitely thank everybody that came out that supported the event. We planned on having some more events, and what I liked most about it was good, clean fun. A lot of people that came out and they loved it because it was good, clean fun. Nobody got hurt, and the boxers loved it. The boxers loved the attention as always, and the parents loved that their kids are out there on stage and doing what they've been trained to do, and everybody links in together at that particular point, and that particular day, and everything going on right there. Everybody is together and is supporting one cause, and it's those guys that are in the ring, and I love that. I definitely appreciate everybody coming out.
Do you think it's a bigger fighting in the South Carolina, North Carolina area than like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York?
I think there's less fighting. It's less. We have the gyms. Those areas where there's more crowds of people, of course, you have more boxers, you have more support. But down this way, we're more like a football, baseball, basketball type. In the West Coast and up on the East Coast in New York, of course, they're more of boxing. That's their. A lot of them, especially a lot of immigrants. They're tough. They fight.
Right.
And they have that fortitude because of where they came from. Their culture presents that to them, and their support groups come from their families, friends, and basically their community. We down here, we have a little different culture when it comes down to sports. Like I say, it's football, basketball, baseball, those other sports. But I think we're growing. I think down here we're definitely growing to the point where it will eventually shift to be in this area that boxing will be a major impact.
Alonzo, when you were boxing, who was your role model as far as boxing?
When I was boxing, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, and right now his principles are still my role model. And since I've gotten older, I kind of branch out, but for the most part, it's Muhammad Ali, and because of what he done, not only in the ring but outside the ring, how he conducted his life is very, very, very important to me. And I think that through those principles, most people can be, whether they're just training to box or whether they're trying to be an actual competitor or prospect in boxing, I think through those principles that they can be good individuals, period.
I know individuals like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather, they kind of like talk. They have a real good talk. Mm. How is that good or bad to some of the boxers? Would you recommend that, or would you kind of like tell them to stay away from that?
Well, I would say if the shoe fits, wear it. If you can do that, then you do it. You know, me, I'm not really a talk guy. I guess I would be more like a Joe Louis type guy. You know, I'm going to let my fish talk. But you know, if it came down to it, so be it. I think that essentially it boils down to who the individual is. You know, some guys, if you can back it up, you can let it go. But if you can't back it up, then you might want to be quiet.
Do you think the crowd likes that or hates it?
Oh, the crowd loves it. The crowd loves it. You know, but my whole thing is if you put in the work, mm-hmm. then you talk about it.
Correct.
You can talk. If you put in those hours and that dedication that it takes for you to be on top and be the best, then talk about it. But if you haven't, then you might want to think twice.
If some individuals want to know more about the Rock Hill Boxing Club, how would they get in contact with you or learn more about your program?
I'm down at the center Tuesday through Thursday. Actually, Tuesday through Friday. I'm down at the center, Rock Hill Boxing Club, Emmett Scott Recreational Center, from Tuesday through Thursday from 8 to 6. They can reach me there. I can leave my number or an email address, and they can contact me for future.
Mr. Lumpkin, I really appreciate you coming on the show and telling the audience a little bit about the Rock Hill Boxing Club and all that goes on within the boxing field. And I invite you to bring some of your boxers down so that we can showcase them as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure they would love to do it as well. So I definitely appreciate you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. So we'll definitely do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alonzo Lumpkin, Rock Hill Boxing Club. Exciting program. Thank you for watching the show. You be encouraged.